Hello everybody, welcome back to Dungeon Crawlers. This is a little bit of a different video today. I'm joined by Katie Cat and James.
Howdy.
So, if you didn't know, today was the day that the Minecraft Dungeons closed beta stopped. The beta is now over. The game is gone. And in today's video, we're doing something a little bit different. It's more of a calm video where we talk about everything we've experienced with Minecraft Dungeons during the time the beta was available to play. As you know, if you've been watching all the videos on the channel, we've been doing a lot of covering of this game, like the same 3 levels 6 to 7 different times. It's been everyone's favorite, right? But
Of course.
yeah, sure. I did pay them to say that. No, actually. Anyways, we're going to cover what we liked about Dungeons, what we have with Dungeons, right? What maybe we didn't like or what we want to see from Dungeons in the future when the game officially comes out or in a future update. And then maybe do a little bit of comparison to other games. So if you like calmer videos like this, we don't normally do these on the channel. You can let us know in the comment section. I'd also love to hear your feedback. So would Katie, so would James, so would everyone else that's watching this video. Let us know what you liked, didn't, what you want to see more of from Minecraft Dungeons. Because now that it's closed off, there's just going to be a bunch of waiting to do for the next month or so. I guess we could just jump into some of the things that we personally liked. We do have a list here that we wanted to go into with you guys. So first things first, I love, and I think I speak for all of us, the procedural generation of the maps. Would you guys agree there?
Yeah, I think that it's really nice having the ability to hop into a world multiple different times and not have to worry about encountering the same exact turns and the same exact, like parts of the map over and over again.
Yeah, and along with that, having the mobs, sometimes you run into like charged creepers, sometimes it's an army of archers, sometimes it's, a mix, and like that keeps it, spiced up.
Yeah, I mean, there's even been times where I was playing on Pumpkin Pastures as an example, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever run into this random crypt room before. I know I've played this level a countless amount of times, but here's this brand new dungeon. I do hope that they have even greater amounts of procedural generation in the future, because one thing that's important to me as a content creator is the ability to make lots and lots of content. So the more different the level can be each time we play, the more videos that I can make on it, the more times we can share unique experiences with everybody. It's good to have like a lot of variety to the level design. And I guess to that point, the next thing is the variety of weapons, right? A lot of weapons.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Especially compared to regular Minecraft, where we basically have sword, right? Recently, we got a trident, and if you're weird, you can do axes and pickaxes as weapons, but pretty much swords. But in Dungeons, what? Katie, what do we have?
So there's the hammer, finally. Not in the beta, unfortunately, but I have seen that it is coming, and I am so excited. But, even unique variations on weapons that are already in Minecraft, like crazy fire axes and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And I saw that you had, James, you had a 2-handed sword. Katie, you had, like, scythes. What was the name of your sword, James?
Ooh.
I think it was a Halibrand. I'm so bad with the actual names. I'm just like, I know I have a cool, unique sword.
A Halbrand? It's more like off-brand.
Hawkbrand. See, I knew it was. Yeah.
And what was yours, Katie? You had scythes.
I have the Last Laugh, which is 2 colored sickles. Oh, but you're talking about the I don't know what it's called.
Nightmare's Bite, I think. I think it's called Nightmare's Bite. Yeah.
Yes.
And
those are cool.
We're actually recording this a little bit before April 20th, just so that you all know. So I still have a couple more recordings I'm going to do. But right now, I got like no special weapons. I didn't get any uniques. I got no rares. Still waiting on the diamond sword. But even with that, there's axes, pickaxes, the swords, of course, there's the sickles, and then, you've got all these different uniques. It's really cool because right now in Minecraft, depending on the version you play, the sword is always the best weapon. Like, you don't want to use the axe, you don't want to use pickaxe for combat. But in Dungeons, you can use the pickaxe to have like one single really strong swipe of an attack. Or if you choose the sickles, you have a lot of slightly weaker but super fast attacks. I really like the variety there. What are your guys' favorite weapons?
I honestly really liked the archery, the flaming quiver really came in handy when you like needed to up the damage and take care of a big group of people, because the fire would just spread across and it looked really cool.
It does
too.
spread?
Like,
I didn't even know that.
yeah, it like hits multiple targets. So if one of your arrows that's on fire hits a target, it like has a chance to also light the adjacent guys on fire as well.
Oh, wow. I had no idea of that. The other thing that we all really thought we liked, that we agreed on, was the fact that it's a very cooperative type of game. You know, when it comes to drops, right? Like, we all get our own drops. So there's no real rush to all be the first to pick up an item when a boss dies.
Some of those things, though, like the arrows, you have your own arrows. You know, we should be able to like share those, right? Because be like, hey, I don't need these arrows. You come and get them, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Something like that. Go ahead.
Or sometimes food isn't, you know, like you might take the bread. That is one thing that, you know, it's hard to pick and choose, but I wish arrows could be for everybody and food could be individual. And it's, you know, nitpicking to say like, it's good, and I really like that, you know, if a boss drops a sword, it's specifically for me, but at the same time, there's other elements, maybe if you could choose to share kind of thing.
I totally like the idea of having everyone have individual loot for sure. What I really wish, and, you know, we'll touch on this in a little bit, is that we could, like, share loot drops. Like, maybe there's a bow that I don't need because I have a better one, but James doesn't have a bow as good as this one that I don't need.
Yeah. Because what happens when the same item drops, right, and you already have it? Then I wish I could be like, oh, you know, here, Katie, I don't have, you know, you don't have this, but I do.
Yeah. Another thing that we really loved about Dungeons, you know, we didn't have access to the difficult mode and I think the nightmare mode. But within each specific mission, you can change like the power level of the mission. So if you want a super easy version of easy version, you can do it. Or if you want a hard version of easy version, you can do that too. And it also changes the loot that you can get, like the power levels of the loot. So it makes it way more approachable, I think, to tons of different players of different skill levels.
Yeah, yeah. And it challenges you because you're like, how far can I push this? You're like, with the gear I have right now, can I push the limit on this? And then you discover that creepers one-shot you.
Right.
Can I be level 1 and fight at level 27?
Right.
Katie, you did a lot of playing and grinding for video recordings. When you were first starting, did you ever do a difficulty level within a mission way harder than you were ready for to try and get the best loot?
Yes, I was level 7 when I tackled the level 22 crypt, and it wasn't too bad as long as you kept your distance. The range in this game makes it really easy to do that, but
6 feet apart.
I wouldn't say I honestly got better loot. That hasn't been my experience, that the harder the level is, the better the loot. I didn't get my diamond sword until I played difficulty 3, not 6. So, I don't know.
Wow, that makes me feel awful. I still haven't gotten any. I've been doing all the hardest modes, and I'm still not getting jack. I'm just getting regular bows. And then I think one of the last things we wanted to touch base on was that there is no specific class. Like, I think that that's awesome. I think that we all think it's cool, because if I want to be a melee attacker with my sword today, and tomorrow I feel like taking more of a social distancing approach, you know, we've got the bow and arrow for that.
Archery is my specialty. And well, one of the ones not in the beta was the mage armor.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what that looks like and like play it.
That's true. Like, we didn't really get that third class, and I know in all of the trailers we saw, there was someone holding like a staff and casting spells and doing powers. I didn't know if there was a mage class. or not, because I thought maybe they just were counting the artifacts as the magic weaponry. But I feel like there will be a mage class. I mean, again, it is just the beta. Like, there's so much to discover still. Didn't you actually, Katie? Didn't you find like an image spreadsheet of a whole bunch of stuff that isn't in the beta but is going to be in the official game or something? Did you see any staffs or magic gear there?
I believe there are staffs. Honestly, I kind of blocked all that out because I'm a huge melee person, so I was, staring at all to those. Oh, man,
We could pull that image up right now.
Wow, thanks, Jenna. Shouts out to Jenna, our editor. Hi, Jenna. Sorry to make you put in more effort. Just kidding. Sorry, what were you saying, Katie?
There's cool swords.
Like, how many items are we talking? Because I didn't really get a good look.
Oh my, well over 50. I mean,
really?
And I don't even think that's all of them. That was just all of them that have textures currently. So yeah, it is insane.
Oh yeah,
squiggly swords.
I'm seeing the picture right now. Right. Wow, that is something else. I don't know if we should show them, James, because they've been taking videos down for it. So I might just look silly when we had our editor do the.
Oh.
Right. Anyways, it's okay. We'll pixelate it, Jenna. She did already because it already happened. Thanks. And we're just gonna move on. Look, here's the reality, though. Dungeons is awesome, and there was a lot of cool things about the game that we could all agree on. But there are lots of ways that we think that Dungeons could be improved. So I wanted to take some time to talk a little bit about those with Katie and James as well. Katie, why don't you start with the first thing that we want?
Grinding through all the levels so many times, I have gotten, thousands and thousands of emeralds and just sat there and spammed the merchant and gotten, 100 bows. Like, awesome, great. And so I would personally like to see that percentage balanced a little bit more.
It was rough for the sword challenge, James. Didn't you spend all of your emeralds trying to get a sword?
Almost. Yeah. It was took 10 minutes to try and find a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I imagine when the full game comes out, there will be more stuff that comes with that. So, and that's what I imagine most of this list of wants to be. They're probably going to end up adding a lot of the things we're talking about right now into the full game. And yeah, we even brought up this next one here that we want to see added earlier on. A way to drop items to other players, right? That makes perfect sense. And that even further adds to the sharing aspect, right?
Yeah, I think, there's ways to do it though, right? Where you have your binded items. Like if you equip it, right? Maybe you shouldn't be able to share it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's an extra item or if your friend needs it, yeah, go ahead and share it. Or maybe, the higher tier ones are the bindable ones, but the regular ones could be traded whenever, right?
That makes sense to me.
Interesting.
What another one, right, James? This is a good one for you. Tell them what you want, James. Number 3 here. On our dock. I don't know what the number is in the corner, but
I want a disenchantment merchant where I could bring my gear to and say, hey, please disenchant this because I put my power-ups on it, but I don't want to destroy my equipment. Because every time you want to get your powers back, you have to salvage an item and destroy it. Because what if I want to use it again sometime?
Yeah, for those of you that are unfamiliar with exactly what's being talked about, when you enchant gear or a weapon, you can't get those points back unless you literally destroy the whole weapon. There's no takebacks there. I'm kind of torn on this. I like the idea of you having to basically fully commit your enchantment points to whatever that weapon is. You're not going to get those points back unless you're willing to completely delete the item. And I feel like part of that was a decision that the developers made to ensure that people continue to grind for items. If you want those points back, okay, it might come at the cost of that Hawk brand sword that you have. So if you want another Hawk brand, well, you're going to go have to find one, right?
Right. And maybe that opens up to once the full game rolls out and we have more levels to play through, right? Then we're not really capped there. So we'd probably have more freedom to always be getting better gear, changing them out. So that, maybe my concern will be totally, different once the full game is out.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I think that would be an interesting addition to dungeons, it would be a way to store potions. Right now, if you pick up a potion, it's used instantly. So you're either using the potion right as it pops up, or you don't use it at all. And sometimes when you use it, there's nothing around to use it with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe you get like a potion belt, like the artifacts, where you can store 2 potions or 3 potions, and then, or it starts at 2, it starts at 1, and then you could upgrade that belt.
I think a good way, in my eyes, to implement it is because you don't want somebody stacking up on 10, swiftness potions and then speeding through. So maybe even adding like a 4-5, where 1, 2, 3 are artifacts, 4, 5 is swiftness and shadow brew. So you can only hold 1 of each kind of thing, and that would kind of balance it, keep you from being too powerful, but you could still use them when you wanted.
To me, I'm torn on it because I think one of the roles Minecraft Dungeons is trying to fill is to be a dungeon crawler game for the casual player. You get 1 healing potion, you get 3 artifacts. There's never these super crazy intricate builds, at least not yet. It makes it super approachable for anyone at any age to just pick up. It almost removes some of the competitive aspect, and from what I understand, that's what Dungeons is all about. It's about the team effort. It's not about there being one single star. And when you have all these crazy options like that, you really start to let there be an opportunity for a star, for the center spotlight to open up to someone. So I don't really know what I think about it. Now, we've got a list going, everybody, here. One of them, I don't know who put it. I got a bone to pick with you, but it's picking up items by being in proximity to them, not having to click directly on them. You tell me why you like it, I'll tell you why I don't.
I just keep running forward and then find myself like, oh, I never actually picked up that sword. I thought I picked it up, and I have to go back and I have to go get it, because if you don't click perfectly on it, you might run to the left of it or run to the right of it. And I think, being in the Minecraft universe where that is how it works, you just stand next to something.
Yeah, that makes
sense. I would like to see that.
No, it makes sense to me. I'll tell you why I'm not a fan of that. So, and this is mostly from a YouTuber perspective, right? One, I like that feeling of satisfaction. You just took on the final boss. For me, there's a certain reward in seeing that special drop on the ground, floating there, waiting for you to click it. This is mine. I achieved it. I got it. Click.
Yeah.
and then the other thing is, from a content creator's perspective on YouTube, boy, you'd have a heck of a time making a thumbnail if those items picked up right away. I'd never be able to grab a screenshot of it on the ground for the thumbnail. I'd never be able to overreact. Look at it. Look at it there on the ground. But, we're not all super good at the game, right? And Katie's blazing saddles through the whole level. She just needs the items to be added right away. I totally understand that. There's been times where I wish there was an auto pickup when my sword gets stuck in a pit somewhere.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
There's ups and downs to all of it. But, another one that is maybe, I don't know, a down, it would be cool to have a reliable number of enchantment slots, right? Shifting gears a little bit. Maybe there's only 1 enchantment slot for common, or 2 enchantment slots for the rare ones, or 3 for unique ones. Right now, it all seems to be random. And it would be nice to be able to guarantee... I don't know. I did have a weapon that had 2 sets of leeching on it. It would be cool if there was a way to ensure that there weren't a super large amount of redundancies, right? That way you're getting these very varied enchantments across your weapons.
And what about, we talked about the power-ups, right? And being able to refund that at a merchant. Mm-hmm. What if there's the merchant that can say, if you get this unique that only has 1 or 2 slots, what if you can go to him and then pay him to give you another enchanting slot, right?
Yeah.
I wish there was a way to guarantee that the more rare weapons have better enchantments, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Or what would be cool, skins for your weapons, get the ultimate skinned tool. That way, like, your scythe looks super dope. Maybe you can spend your emeralds on that or something. I don't know. I think this is a good place to wrap, though. I'd like to thank Katie and James James for joining us for our quote-unquote podcast today. Let us know if you want to see more stuff like this in the future. You know, I personally love not having to shriek in every video, but ultimately it depends on if you guys want to see more like this. So thanks for leaving a like. Thank you for joining us for all of the content that has showed up on Dungeon Crawler so far. Good news, we've been nice and busy recording content. So even though Minecraft Dungeons beta closed today, you should be subscribing right now because there are still going to be more videos of the game coming until the official launch, and plenty more coming once the game is fully released. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take us out, James, Katie.
I can't wait for the full game to release.
See you soon.
All right, guys, have a good one.